welcome to Scribble time. Let's get started, shall we? I got caught drinking my coffee. Well, welcome everyone. It's Saturday afternoon here in Seattle. We are not much of a theme for today because I didn't know I was going to do one today, but I figured I had enough interest from asking a few parents and kids, and so we're gonna do a stream today, and it's gonna be a little bit more free-flowing than our usual themes for the past 3 days. So if you guys have any suggestions, please put them in the chat right now. I'm gonna start on one drawing right now, but you guys can think about it, put it there, and I'll draw your pandas as you would like. So let's see. I'm going to think of something just pretty random, and sometimes I get asked where do I get my ideas from. Sometimes they are just generally random. I just say like a panda. Let's have a panda. I don't know. Eating a burrito or riding a burrito, or maybe let's do this. Panda with a burrito parachute. Okay, so let's just run with that. I don't know what that's gonna look like. I know like a parachute is kind of like there are the flat ones. So maybe it's gonna be more of a quesadilla parachute. Who knows? So there's gonna be some stuff in it. Maybe some food starts falling out. Yeah. So there you go. That's how I make an idea. You just think of something random, and you just throw it in there. So I'm gonna do so basically you have some strings that come down from the parachute, and they eventually get together, so I should probably draw them closer together like that. And so I'm thinking about like the general form first, because the parachute is kind of like the biggest thing. The parachute is going to be the biggest thing, so it's going to dominate. So I'm going to focus on that a little bit. It's a pretty flat burrito, I guess. Not really my most memorable work, but let's let's do this here, where the panda grabs his restraints. So there we go. So he's like looking up. He's like, huh? It's so bits of food are coming out. Maybe some pieces of cheese. It's a very flat burrito. Like I said, it could be a quesadilla. It could be I don't know. I could make it a wet burrito, but then visually I don't know how that's going to work out. Already I'm not sure how it's going to work out. But this is where we have fun. We just do. Sometimes it's not about trying to make a really pretty picture. It's sometimes just having fun and just drawing whatever, right? So let's make sure he has a harness there. I'm gonna draw a little harness, because safety first. Always safety first. Can't have fun riding a burrito parachute if you're not being safe. Okay, and then we give some context. We can just maybe make some clouds. We can just do these lumpy little clouds, maybe add a bird or here or there, just to kind of give some context. Okay, so that's our burrito panda, and maybe so there you go, a burrito parachute panda. So JC asked for a BB-8. You know what? I might as well, like in the future, I want to do a Star Wars theme. So, but I'll draw BB-8. So then it'll be good practice for me to do BB-8 again, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get that asked again at the next one. So let's put BB-8 up there. BB-8 is going to be, well, it'll be PP-8 because it's a panda, and BB-8's fairly easy to draw in terms of the basic structure, because all he is just a half circle on top of another circle. And one way to kind of make him feel a little bit more grounded on the ball is to imagine, see how I drew through the head like this and drew it through the circle. So one way to do it is just to kind of imagine like what would the back side of the base would be. So it's also going to be a semicircle because, you know, when you look at, you know, if you look at the bottom of BB-8's head, you know, like if you took the head, popped the head off the ball, you know, and looked at it, it's going to be a circle like that, right? And so when you look at a circle tilted, it tends to become more of an oval, right, like this. And usually like if the base is like this, like two circles like this, and you're tilting it to see sideways, the distance here is generally going to be shorter than the distance here. And that's due to perspective. That's due to the way the optical world works. It's just, that's how we get that sense of depth. So like if you drew that oval like this and you drew it at the same, it doesn't really, if you want to draw accurately, that's the way you do it. But you know, if you're sketching it, it doesn't really matter. So but that's just kind of a little tip about how you make BB-8 fit right there. So in this case, like here's that circle in the middle like that. So I'm just imagining it, if it feels like it's sitting on like the middle of the circle, like if I drew a line from there and I can draw BB-8 like this, then it kind of makes them feel a little bit more grounded. So I'm just gonna just back up from there and just focus on the actual drawing. So he has like a little ring like that. He's kind of, you know, he has like that signature design like R2-D2, you know, they're using the same type of visual language. So he has like one big camera here, and then he has like a smaller camera there. There are like little lines inside that kind of like, you know, that you can draw these really tiny lines, but make them really light so that they're not being too distracting, because you don't want them to be like super heavy like that. You want them to be a little bit lighter, just to suggest that you don't have to draw all the line. You just have to draw just some of it, and you know, your mind will kind of make up the rest of it. So I'm just going to draw in the circle there, and I think he has these little like orange stripes here that are just painted. They're just more decorative, and so they kind of add that feeling of detail to it. And you know, doing the we'll make him a panda too, because you know, this is the Punchy Panda channel, so we'll add like a couple of ears. I'll add them in the way that I think would work. So I usually do like circle like that. So he's kind of a panda. Maybe seat them on the head a little bit. I'm going to also, the circle, the patterns on the ball are a little bit more difficult, and that kind of involves like practicing some geometry. But usually the way I would help or I can offer to or advise people to draw is just imagine imagine trying to draw like halfway in between the circles like that, like draw an imaginary circle like a basketball, right? Like draw the two lines that are going to intersect, and then if you look at the ball head on, for example, if you just imagine drawing the ball and then drawing these two lines around the ball, like where they're perpendicular to each other. So for those of you who may not know, this is the perpendicular symbol. That just means that this line is directly 90 degrees from this line. Okay, so that's the symbol I use a lot when or that I'm using to indicate that. So this, if you imagine this in the real world, in dimensions, you want to see this. This is what these two lines represent. And so when you do that, if you actually look at BB-8, if you look at, let's see, this is a picture of a toy, so it's not quite the same, but let's see here. Let me just pull out here. Yeah, so when you look at BB-8 like this, you'll see these, let's see if I can copy it. Actually, that might be better if I just copy it. Okay, so if we're setting it, you know, we see that these, like, imagine like this is like in the middle of the circle, right? The tricky thing here is that this line here that you see, that if you draw through imaginary, it's not 90 degrees. It isn't. It's actually slightly less than 90 degrees. So 90 degrees is kind of more like right here. So because it's using a different angle. So that's why I say it's tricky. But you know, you could focus on these two circles, you know, because they're along that same line. So let's just do that for a second. Let's just put them off to the side. Let's go like this, and I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to imagine that I didn't exactly draw this right, but whatever. So I imagine the midpoint of the circle like that. If I can imagine like one circle like right here, where this is the center of the circle, I can do it like this, right? And so that's one way. That's one circle down, and then I'm going to do another circle where it feels like if I were to just take this line across, it'll probably intersect this circle like in the back underneath the bottom. So I'm not going to really see that circle, but it's going to be a little bit closer because you see that here the distance is a bit smaller, so it's going to be more like less than 90 degrees. So it'd be something similar to like this, right? And if I were to draw this like really seriously, like I wouldn't put this circle here because he's kind of obscuring some of the detail, but that's fine, whatever. So I would just, you know, you can make that ring a little bit wider. So you see, for example, on BB-8 here, you see that this is part of the interesting thing about drawing, is like sometimes you can see shapes within shapes. So like if I follow these two lines, right, and I look at the space between the circles, I get this kind of shape where it's like, it's sort of like a triangle, like a triangle like this, but with the ends truncated. So it's kind of like this. So I want to look for that similar shape when I'm drawing this. So that helps me to place where this third circle is going to be. So it's going to be something like this. Obviously not drawn super accurately, but you look at this shape now, and it's right there. It's just drawn in perspective a little bit differently. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. So that's just, and this is a sketch, so it's meant to be pretty loose. But if you really want to practice, you know, just you can work from a picture like this, or you know, some of you may actually have this toy, or you can actually get a ball and just actually get a ball, like a ping pong ball or something, you know, and basically draw a circle, draw a line right in the middle, and so that the line is all the way across. So I'm just going to draw a hidden line like this. So and make sure it's right in the middle, right? If you really want to be accurate to BB-8, if you look at this ball from the top, sorry this is going a little bit long, but bear with me. This is more of a drawing lesson. So say this line, here, let me just color code it. So this line, see, I draw a green ball with the pink line. This line's going to go like this if I'm looking at the top view. This is going to be an orange line that I'm going to draw at approximately 30 degrees. So it's going to look like this. And I draw that through the middle of the circle like that. And then there'll be another one that's blue where I go like this. Or it's probably more like all the way to the edge like that. And that will be this line here. So this is looking at it from the top down like this. You know. So you want to do that, and then that will kind of give you some guidance in terms of the the placement of these circles, because then you can do this where you draw a line right through the middle here, like let's try to go for the different color. You do another line like, what's a good color? Let's pick cyan. Okay, so you do a line like that that goes all the way around, and I think this is where you get the the placements of the BB-8 circle. So you get one right here. You get one right here. You get one right here, and see, and then you get one at the bottom like that. So that's how you get BB-8, because there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So that's how you would get it. So then it would look something like this, like the circle. If I look from the top down, it'll look like this. And there'll be another one right here. Is that right? I don't know. I think I might have messed this up. But anyways, yeah, maybe I did mess this up. Oh well. That's, yeah, I kind of flubbed it. But anyways, or no, it'll be like this. Sorry, it'll be like this. I got it. Okay, I got it. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so it'll be like that. So I hope that helps. I've kind of been out of the chat for a little bit, so that's how you would draw BB-8. I'm just gonna leave that up there, and then here you kind of have like these little things there. So does anybody else have anything else that they would like for me to? What's the next thing that you guys would like for me to draw? Just please post it in the chat, and yeah, let's keep it going. Sorry that took so long, but I wanted to like show you what my brain is thinking as I'm drawing this, and it's not always like me just copying what's on the page. I'm actually trying to just do something a little bit different. I'm, you know, kind of messing around with the general shapes, and so yeah, so there's like another shape right there. You can say like there can be a shape right here, maybe, you know. So you just play around with it. It's a lot of neat, interesting shapes that they're trying to produce here. So it's a little bit inaccurate, but it's okay, you know, because it's just a sketch. If you mess up on a sketch, you just make a new one, and you move on. Okay, so that's like a BB-8 Panda, like that. And then I can just add like another one here, maybe just just other things. So Pandas doing Scribble time. Yes, Lawrence. Just got off our chat earlier today. Okay, so let's do Pandas doing Scribble time. Let's move the burrito parachute out of the way, and let's Pandas doing Scribble time. Basically, I'm just drawing myself. A lot of times when you draw, you just let's make him right-handed. Okay. I'm gonna have him look down like this, and I'm gonna have him his arm out like this. So notice I'm just doing really basic shapes. You know, this looks kind of like a jelly bean. This is his head. It kind of looks, he looks like a big marshmallow. And I'm standing up on my desk right now, so I'm you know, I'm gonna put the pencil right here. I don't have this exact posture, but my posture is not always the greatest. I try my best. So I have a drawing tablet like this, and it's over a desk. So I'm just gonna put the desk right there. And then I'm gonna wear a hat. I like wearing hats because if my hair is not done up, I mean, if my hair is really messy in the morning, I could just throw on a hat and call it good. Pro tip. That's why you see a lot of artists wearing hats, because they don't want to bother doing their hair. So I speak for a lot of them. Okay, so I have like a okay, so then I'm gonna draw the boxing glove like so. I add a little pinch sometimes right here between the band or the body and the head, because it kind of makes things feel a little bit like they have a little bit more dimension. So if it's just one flat curve, it kind of feels a little bit wobbly, but I like to always add a little dimple right there to kind of give it, to break up the body and the arm. So I'm just going to go like this and then color this in. Where's body? Same right here. It's like I'm going to add that dimple right there to kind of separate his head from the body. And then same here, another dimple like that. Let me add a tail. And then I'm going to just draw it in like so, make it so. Okay, let's make this table a little bit long. And let's see. This is the way. I don't know, I have like another arm right here. You don't have to draw this. This is just me like putting this down. Where this is how I draw on this tablet, because it's just a big heavy tablet that's attached to it in my table. It's pretty heavy. It's like 40 pounds, so I have to be careful not to let it get dropped. So that's why I have it attached to this arm. Okay. All right. Next suggestion for a sketch. Someone post something in the chat, please. We are in need of chat recommendations. Don't be shy. We'll get this going. Otherwise, you might be subjected to a taco car. But you know what? Let's draw a taco car. So while I'm drawing that, you guys can think of something else you'd like to see drawn, and I'll do it. So taco car. Oh, predator panda. Alien versus predator. Okay, you're getting a little bit super detailed there. Okay, well, I don't think I've done an alien panda. You know what? Actually, I don't think I've done either. Interesting. Okay, well, we're gonna have fun with this one. So this, obviously, Predator and Alien are kid-friendly franchises. So let's do this here. Okay. So Alien versus Predator. It's a I don't know if you would say it's a classic rivalry. It's well known. I haven't actually watched many of the movies, so I can't comment too much about the quality. I've seen Alien, and I haven't seen Aliens yet, surprisingly. Okay, so let's give it. So these are Alien. These are I'm going to draw them as pandas. I'm going to give them panda proportions, meaning they're all fat and chubby. Let's move him a little bit further out. So for those of you who may not be familiar with Alien and Predator, Predator is Alien is a kind of like a galaxy hunter, big game hunter. The movie itself is pretty interesting. It's definitely not a little bit violent, but it's got a pretty interesting structure to it. It makes you think it's one type of movie, and it ends up being another type of movie. And basically, this creature just hunts for sport, and it involves Arnold Schwarzenegger. And there's a lot of great moments, a lot of classic moments in that film where it's like you're wondering, how are these guys going to survive? Okay, so these two are. Now you might be wondering, Alien versus Predator, they're supposed to be fighting against each other. Well, I'm going to try something different, so I'm going to subvert expectations. Which is code word for I'm going to make it kind of lame. I'm kidding. It's like I don't think I ever want to go to a restaurant and be like, I'm gonna have my expectations subverted. It means doing something unexpected. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit adult speak. Let's see. Okay. So that's why I drew both of them far away like that. I'm gonna do something that's gonna probably not go well with everybody. Let me turn this off. Let me move this guy over. I need some more space. I need some space. Let's do this. Is that a little... Gonna add a little... This is a tree stump. They're good. Guess what? They're playing chess. Nah. So you get it. It's Alien versus Predator. They are fighting against each other with chess pieces. Yeah. So that's the joke. Okay, now Predator has like this mask. It has it covers his mouth. I don't think I want to show the the real mouth because that's pretty terrifying. But let's see. Let's give him his helmet. He kind of has this big dome sort of thing to him. It kind of comes down and makes him look really mean and nasty. And then he has like this kind of this cheekbone shape here, and then he has a bunch of dreadlocks that just not sure what's the purpose of the dreadlocks. I guess they're supposed to make him look menacing. Got another request for a Visco Panda just now. Okay, I have to figure out what that is. I have to go look it up. I know you explained it to me, Heidi, but I'm gonna try to figure that out on the fly. All right, let's see. Oh, he's got a lot more dreadlocks. Let me just keep it going. The side of his head. What does it look like? I think it's just. I think they're supposed to be. These guys are supposed to be cousins or something like that. I think. I don't know. Don't quote me. I never watched these movies, the Alien vs Predator movies. But as far as I know, they're. Let's just say they're not part of the Criterion collection. That's another adult joke. Hear that? It's the sound of a joke going over everybody's head. That whooshing sound. Okay. Then he has like I think he has like body armor. He has he kind of has like this mesh sleeve sort of thing, and then he has all these like other parts and bits to him that make him like he has a gauntlet too. Maybe he has like I know he has a gauntlet. He has like something that kind of helps or that tells him to blow up or something like that. He has like maybe he has like a staff, some blades and stuff like that. He's got to have a belt, of course. Maybe just he has all the fishnet here. Not sure what to do with the fishnet is. I think it's supposed to make him feel. Okay, so then he's like that. I'm gonna show his other leg right here just to kind of give context, make it feel a little bit more dimensional. And then the alien, the xenomorph, he is. He doesn't really have any eyes. That kind of hidden underneath this this opaque or slightly opaque head that he has. So he's kind of a scary looking dude. Let's give him some. Oh yeah, he has to have panda ears. Don't forget the panda ears. That's how you make something feel a little bit more panda-ish, by giving him panda ears. Okay, and then Xenomorph, he's just a collection of all these little veins and tubes and all this other stuff. He's got some ridges and kind of looks like a robot that's sort of alive. If that makes sense. But he's gonna have the boxing gloves, of course, and he has this little gnarly tail. But we're gonna make it a little bit more kid-friendly today. A little bit less scary, and the way to make things feel less scary is to make them shorter and stubbier, so it makes it feel like a little cute thing. And the way that came about is because if you like look at anything that's baby, it's always like shorter and stubbier, and anything from bunnies to caterpillars and stuff, they all like have very stubby short features. And then the rest of him is just going to be a bunch of these like weird biological forms. Why am I drawing this? Tim, this is a kid show. Okay. All right, he's got to have some ribs that show up there. And then he has all these weird type of forms to him. He's just drooling. Okay. All right. Oh, then he has like this spike on his. Let's see. Let's do another ridge right here. He just has all these ridges and stuff, so like you don't have to draw him exactly. It's just to make him feel like, oh, there's some kind of, you know, he's a very textured fellow. I won't go into why, but anyways. All right, and you always sign your drawings. Okay, so I got another half hour to go. Oh, let me just leave that up there. I'll take a look at the chat. Let's see. I'm gonna go with the VSCO. I don't know how you pronounce that. Heidi, you're gonna have to. Let's see here. Okay, VSCO. Let me just see what this is. Apparently, this is some popular thing right now. Maybe this is the equivalent of Minecraft. For okay, so it's a bunch of accessories. I'm not sure how this is gonna work out. Let's turn off these guys. I'm gonna just draw a VSCO girl, or I guess is this Minecraft for girls? I don't know. Well, we'll soon find out. So I guess it's just a bunch of accessories, right? I'm guessing at this. I don't know anything. I'm just going into this blind like a bat into a spotlight. Okay, so we're just gonna draw sunglasses. That seems like a popular accessory. We got scrunchies. We got, oh boy, what is all this stuff? I'm just doing a Google search. Looks like there's, let's just do a scarf here too. Scarf seems pretty fashionable. Sometimes I like to do these like little waves of the scarf to kind of make it feel a little bit more dynamic. Let's see, Heidi's messaging me right now. Hydro flasks and wear scrunchies. Okay, well, let's just draw a scrunchie here. Okay. I know I don't really give my pandas hair, so oversized t-shirts. Okay, so there's scarves. Or you know what? I'm gonna save the scrunchies for the arms because I'm gonna give. This will be Petunia because Petunia has a giant bow because that kind of tells you that who she is, right? And then I guess they carry hydro flasks. What? I'm just reading this on the fly. Are you making this up? Sounds like it is. Hydro flasks. I don't know. Does the cap have a? Does it dongle off or something like that? I honestly just feel like I'm lost. It's like I'm taking a test and someone's telling me how to take. I'm taking a test I never studied before and someone's asking me. Okay, so we just draw a shirt, make it all baggy. Oh, okay. But actually, we have to change something here because the wind is going this way because of these scarves. So I got to make sure that the shirt is also blowing the same way. Let's see. Oh, actually, let's put the shirt here. Okay, so let's like that. And the scrunchies are like this over her arm. You just draw just a gonna change this a little bit. I guess Vans or Birkenstocks. Boy, this is getting really specific here, Heidi. I just drew the feet and now I have to draw Birkenstocks. Okay. Alright. Wait, what do Birkenstocks look like? Birkenstocks. I should know what Birkenstocks look like. Oh, yeah, like the sandals or something like that. But these pandas barely have toes, so I can't really show too much. So this is a look, huh? Interesting. Not judging. I'm just like I'm trying to figure out exactly what this is because when I do a Google on VSCO, Visco, I don't really get a definitive answer. Like I see a bunch of accessories and I see a bunch of images of. It doesn't really necessarily jump out to me a particular image. I guess flowers. Maybe we can add flowers. I don't know. Maybe this. We can do this to make the scarf not feel like it's just blending into the shirt. So we're gonna give it some separation there. Maybe we oh yeah, hydro flasks are I guess they have like that handle or something like that. Maybe I don't own a hydro flask. I drink my water straight from a cup. And I guess there's a surfboard maybe involved. I guess maybe. This is a Californian thing. Yeah, cool. All right. Okay, that was an interesting one for sure. Oh, Visco. Okay. We got a couple more. We got a panda hanging from a tree. I'm assuming you mean, yeah, like a different, yeah, I kind of, that sounds kind of weird. Yeah, I'll do one where, that sounds kind of strange. Yeah, panda hanging from a tree. It's not what you may think for some people. Yeah, so you could draw a tree like this. So Tim asks that if I have no ideas, can I take one to a tighter production? Sure thing. That'll be a good one to show for sure. Let's see here. This is basically a panda who got himself into a little bit of trouble. It's like, uh-oh. I always like this expression with he just has a closed mouth because it's like you can't necessarily tell like you it doesn't it's not very expressive, but it is pretty expressive at the same time. Like it's like, oh great, like I'm in this position. Like you don't know where if you're supposed to panic or you just it's kind of like, oh, this is what life is. This is what great, I got myself stuck. So the way to draw trees, it's pretty easy. You can just do branches off to the side like that, and then you can keep splitting them off. I like to just take one strand and kind of keep it going and then just branch the others off. And likewise, you can take these smaller ones and do the same thing where you just branch it off like that. Maybe over here you can do a side branch, and then you have something branch off, and then you have something else branch off, and then you have something else branch off. But not really. Sometimes you could put them at the same intersection. I like to kind of vary it up a little bit just to make it look a little bit more interesting. And in terms of the leaves, sometimes people get hung up on drawing leaves. When you're sketching, it's just, you can just add little petals. Maybe this is spring and it's like all the buds are starting to come back. And if you need to, you could always add more branches like this to kind of fill it up. You can add another one right here and add another one right there. Or if you want to make it feel like a fuller tree, what you can do is I'm going to add another one right here just to make it. If you want to make it feel like a much fuller tree, you can always like do this like a background, like a round shape to kind of make it feel like it fills up the space. Let's turn off our Visco Panda here, and let's go like that and just get to the top. Because like at first it may seem like, oh, if you're drawing, you kind of get stressed about, you can get a little bit worried about like how is the tree going to end at the branches, but really all you gotta do is just like, if you enclose it like that, your mind tends to forget about certain details, right? So I'm just gonna go like this, and I'm gonna try to modify it here and there to kind of make it not feel so lumpy, because I want to make it feel like not so uniform. So you can do like even this and it'll be fine, so and this is more of a cartoon tree. Obviously with a real tree you're going to get stuff like overlap, like say, maybe this branch just goes under this canopy, or this bit of leaves, or over here the same thing, maybe so it kind of gives a little bit more dimension, and then so you can cut off certain things. Sometimes if you want to get super realistic, you'll put like little windows where it's like, oh, maybe right here there's a branch coming out, but then it disappears. I wouldn't really recommend, at least for a cartoony tree like this. You can still you can, I'm going to make them feel in trouble, so I'm not going to put a branch underneath them. I'm just going to maybe just put like some leaves or something like that to kind of show that, oh, he might have some trouble soon. So anyway, so that's the panda hanging from a tree. How did he get up there? Who knows? Hanging over a tree over a bucket of sharks. Oh, I see. Well, that's a little bit more morbid. Let's see. Bucket of sharks. Let's see. I don't know. We just draw. Just either it's like these are really tiny sharks, or maybe it's just a really giant bucket of sharks. Okay, like that. Interesting. These are some ideas I would never would have thought of. I like to add little bits of grass here to kind of vary it up. Who would put a bucket of sharks there? Strange. Strange. Okay. Let's see. There's also a call for some a panda drinking boba tea. Bubble tea, yes. We are about 14 minutes left, so panda drinking bubble tea, which looks something like here. Let me just add some drops here, because it's a bucket of sharks. That'll be a new band name, the bucket of sharks. All right. So I'm gonna do panda drinking bubble tea. I like dry. This is how I usually like drawing panda drinking tea. So he has a kind of flat head. I add a little dimple. Usually, sometimes I put these little ticks here to kind of give myself a landmark to work from later. And so I'm usually going to have one side being a little bit straighter and more plain than the other side. So this is my more plain side, like in terms of the curviness and so forth. Like it's not as curvy and as detailed as the other side's going to be, as you'll see. So like I'm going to have him hold a cup like so. This is going to make me want to crave some boba. Might have to go and make some actually, because I mean, you could go support your businesses, but also if you're not comfortable going outside, you could always make your boba. You could just go buy a pack of tapioca flour. You do have to make the balls yourself and get your own tea leaves and such, but it can be quite delicious if you do it right. There are recipes on YouTube to hand make boba. There's recipes pretty much for anything on YouTube, so that's the way I actually learned how to cook certain dishes. Like I made kimchi by just looking it up. We're at a time in history where we actually have a lot of access to information, so if you want to learn how to make Peruvian roast chicken, there's a recipe for that. If you want to learn how to make pastrami, you could do that. It's kind of, obviously it's probably not as good as, say, like going to Cat's Deli or going to some famous deli in New York, but it's pretty, you can get like 80% of the way there, maybe 90%, and still be, it's for a lot of people, for home cooking, I think that's actually enough. I've made pho at home and using recipes from online, and it's pretty delicious. I mean, I have to admit. So it kind of demotivates me from going to certain restaurants, I would say. But at the same time, some restaurants are also places where we can also get food that we can't cook at home. So like eating Chinese, like I don't have a jet engine for a stove to make, certain fried stuff. So if I'm craving that sort of wok type of food, I can make it at home, sure, but for certain dishes, I probably, if I want to get the taste, then I would get it at those restaurants that do have a jet engine for a stove. That makes sense. Okay, so then, yeah. So notice how, like, detailed or how simple this side is. See? Look how simple it is. It's like, it's very, very straight, right? But this side is like, so sometimes when you're making a drawing, it can really help improve your work if you make one side a little bit more detailed, a little bit more varied than, say, a more simpler side like that, right? And it doesn't have to always be vertical too. It could also be horizontal. Like maybe in this case it's not quite as apparent, but the top is a lot more varied. If I had to trace over the top like this, it'd be like that edge, versus here where it feels like the curves aren't as, it's not as curvy as this line, right? This line is not as curvy. So you get what we call contrast. So let me just take that line out there, okay? It probably would even help to make it flatter too, to make it feel a little bit more appealing, give him more of a belly. And then, of course, it's boba, so you want to add some boba here, make it a little bit rounder there. All right. Okay, so we are at 9 minutes left. Let's see. Molly asked for Panda dressed as ice cream. Okay. Oh, I got all these Minecraft and Lego pandas and mermaid pandas. Let's do a mermaid panda. Mermaid pandas are pretty simple. I can actually, like, I've drawn pandas so many times, sometimes it feels like a signature at this point. So a mermaid panda would be I'm gonna draw the fat chubby shape like that, and then I'm just gonna attach a little bit of a tail like so, and that tail is gonna be like this. So there's gonna be, so it helps to learn how to draw fish and study, you know, look at a real fish and try drawing it. It might be a little bit tricky because they move all the time. So I would say look at a picture of a fish, but also try drawing from real life, you know, because sometimes drawing from real life really helps out a lot. You know, I actually would encourage drawing from real life as much as possible, because you're going to get a lot of information from it, because there's something about pictures that kind of do a little, they can help you a little bknow, too much. Like, and probably analogy I would use is like, if you want to become a good soccer player, for example, you know, you have to practice kicking the ball and kicking it into the net, right? But maybe early on you may need some hand holding. Maybe someone needs to guide you. Maybe they, you know, maybe they kind of, maybe you don't know how to kick, and maybe you don't know how to kick, and so they, yeah, let's change this to Petunia, because I don't think I've drawn Petunia as a mermaid before. And so maybe like you have you don't know how to physically move your leg to kick the ball. So maybe someone grabs your, you know, maybe someone helps to push your leg into the ball, but then you know, eventually you gotta learn how to kick the ball yourself, right? So part of drawing from pictures feels like it's someone holding your hand. Like if you rely on it too much, you're not going to learn how to really kick the ball, I guess. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but basically drawing from real life can be tough, but you know, practice makes perfect, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna I feel like I should give her seashells, because like every time, like mermaids tend to like seashells, so I'm just gonna give her a quick, oop, even though she doesn't really wear stuff. Okay, anyways, I digress. Seashells can look like, maybe you add like a circle and then you add some lines. So that's pretty much like what seashells are kind of like. You kind of indent them at the top to make them feel a little bit more like seashells, because that's the mouth of the clam. So practice drawing clams if you want to get good at drawing seashells. Okay. And then add some bubbles to kind of make it feel like, oh, she's underwater. And probably erase this part here. Make it feel like, yeah. So I kind of gave her like the Little Mermaid. Oh, then you can also do this too, where you add little scales. It kind of makes it feel like a fish. Okay. All right. We can also do a reverse mermaid. I want to see if I can get through the. I got what 4 minutes left. Let's see if I can do Minecraft Panda. I've drawn some Minecraft already. Let's see. I like this last idea. I think I can just do this last one where it's like a panda dressed as an ice cream. All right, panda dressed as an ice cream. Let's see here. So an ice cream has a big top on it. Let's do mint chocolate chip because that's my favorite flavor. I love mint chocolate chip ice cream. It simply is the best. We can have an argument about it, but I think I'm right. Mint chocolate chip is the best. What's your favorite ice cream flavors? I used to think that cookies and cream was like the best flavor. Like it looked really good. And then after I had it for a while, I'm like, it's a bit too doughy for me. Or I mean, not doughy. It's like too, it needs the mint to it. And then like, I thought maybe cookie dough would be good. And then after a while, I was like, I kind of don't need the cookie dough. I like the chocolate little bits there. Maybe we can actually have the ice cream dripping down on his face. Maybe this will make for a good print later. And I'm just gonna have him like, maybe not necessarily dressed as an ice cream cone, but maybe he's in the ice cream cone itself. Bubble gum ice cream. You know what? I thought that would be like a great flavor. And we actually didn't get that ice cream growing up. Like I think I liked mint chocolate ice cream a lot because that's what my parents would get all the time. But I don't think they wanted to try out bubblegum, so that was the reason why I never got it. Until I think I went to Tillamook Ice Cream Factory in Oregon. And then I had some and I was like, this tastes like Pepto-Bismol. Here, let me just shrink it down a little bit. You know what? Let me shrink it down. I'm going to shrink it down and add another ice cream scoop on top. Let's add some fudge. And then we can make this a little bit darker in color, so then just add the shade like that. So I received an email, or I received a message about the drawings that I'm posting on the website not being able to print. So I'm gonna figure that out later tonight. So just hang tight with the drawings. If you're gonna go check out punchingpandas.com /scribble time, you'll see that you'll see the drawings from the past streams, like including these. And yeah, so just I'll try to figure out what's wrong, what's the issue there. And so really appreciate just the feedback, because that helps me a lot, because sometimes I don't know exactly how things are working on my website. I should know. But so yeah, that definitely is a help. Let's do a waffle cone. I'm in a waffle mood because I made waffles for breakfast. And you know what? Actually, that looks a bit small. Like he's normally like this chubby. Sorry. Let's go backwards here. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna do it that way because that would be cheating. Cheat. Okay. Let's make it out a little bit. Okay. So the waffle cone usually is like ridged on the top like that, and then kind of goes like this. So I think we're fine just to do the waffle cone, making it a little bit bigger. So like that. So what do you guys think? Waffle cone or sugar cone? Camp waffle cone or camp sugar cone? I'm a waffle cone guy, but oddly enough, I kind of prefer the cheap cake cone compared to a sugar cone. Because I think the sugar cone's a little bit too sweet. And it's like, I just think I need to, the cheap cake ones, I think, just, it's plain enough. It's not trying to be the star of the show. So I'm just gonna, to me, it's a perfect complement to ice cream. It's like also having a nice tall glass of ice water as well with the ice cream, because it's just nice, acts as a nice palate cleanser. Okay. Alright, so that's what we got here. We got ourselves an ice cream panda. Alright, well, thanks a lot, guys. That is our session for today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to take tomorrow off, and we're going to have Scribble time tomorrow. Again, this time was at 4. We're going to resume our regular schedule on Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this time. If you guys feel you want to see more topics, comment in the video when this gets uploaded to YouTube. And we are going to do more drawing in next week. So enjoy your Sundays and your weekend, and we'll see you guys.